On my last video, I showed you guys how to make a canvas from scratch. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a luxury textured wall art on a budget. So stay tuned. Using these items, I'm going to be making gesso, which is the prime foundation base for a canvas. There is no correct order to this, but I did add the powder and the glue just to set off the texture. And I also got these items from the Dollar Tree. I got this sample paint from Lowe's in the color pure white, but I had it custom made to 10% more white added into it. Mixing the combination together to get it started, but I will be adding all the items back again to get the perfect consistency. Mixing all the items together to get them blended very well, and I added just a little bit of water just to loosen it up. After mixing it really well, you can go back and add any item you feel is needed. I don't have exact measurements. I'm just going with the texture that I want to work with and actually looks good on the canvas. I'm using a straight line brush just to give it that smooth foundation, since I'm gonna be doing an artwork that requires a lot of texture. This whole canvas is finally coming together. And if you guys want to see the video on how I made this canvas from scratch, I'll be sure to link it right down in the description box. So this is it after it's been dried for 2 hours. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started on the artwork since it really doesn't matter. Here I'm using dry decks to create the rised up texture effect. It also comes in white, but I prefer to use the pink one because once it's dry, it turns white, so you'll know exactly when it's fully dried. Since I was having a hard time applying it down to the canvas, I went ahead and sprayed some water just so it could stay down as I'm smoothing it out on the canvas. There is no correct way to apply this. I'm going for the whole messy minimum look so you can You can apply this wherever and however you want. I even seen some where the textures was only on one corner of the canvas, but I wanted textures everywhere. For these pieces to be so simple, yet they are very pricey. Um, they can go for as low as $100 all the way up to $1,000+ and that's the reason why I'm making my own. I'm just spraying water and applying it down where I want the textures to be seen. It looks like this now, but once it's all dried up, it's almost the same color as the canvas. My little helper. Every project I do, he just lays there and watch me. Going in with the sample paint, pure white, I'm using a roller brush to smoothly apply the paint on top of the textures. Now it's the next day and the canvas is fully dried. The textures did not pick up as much as I wanted it to, so unfortunately I'm applying another layer of dry decks on top of the existing textures to give it that definition. For a more dramatic textured look, I suggest getting the bigger jar of dry decks just so you won't have to go back and keep getting the little jars like I did. Since I wanted the textures to pop a little more, I'm adding colored acrylic paint just to give the textures a little bit more dimension. I'm using a paint sponge just to dab the paint on the textures because I don't really want the textures to be covered. I just want just a little pop to them. Just so the color won't be so harsh, I'm spraying water behind the paint, then using my paint sponge just to diffuse the color. And now I'm using the same sample white color paint and spraying water on the brush just to diffuse the color even more. Very lightly, I'm going over the outer layers of the texture just to blend everything together. And this is it. This is the final piece. This is a great alternative to luxury art on a budget. You don't have to go out to the store and spend a ton. All you have to do is gather some supplies from the Dollar Tree and you're good to go.